I can do that, but we have that lit, right? We just do that. It's real simple. All you do is hold that down, and it just, it's not like a flame. It's just the whole thing, and you put it up there. Good. Perfect. Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. I'm Beth Howard, and I'm a member of your Committee on Shared Ministry. And I'd like to welcome you to this church where we are on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you are new to us, please fill out a blue welcome card and drop it in the offering basket so we can share information about our activities and help find what nourishes your spirit here. Note cards in your pew are available to write your joys and sorrows for the pastoral prayer. We pass an additional basket during the offering to gather these. Write your name or be anonymous. You can write "Do Not Share" if you have something you would like held in care by our worship leader and pastoral care team, but not spoken in prayer. There are many activities and events, and you will find them on your order of service. And I want to bring to your attention that today after the service is a potluck, a soup, salad, and other goodie potluck. And so if you can stay and join us, please do. And also of the election, I'd like to notify you of the election watch party that's on Tuesday, November 5th at 6 o'clock. In the UUCC library, and it's the invitation is don't sit home alone for the election. Come to church and watch the results in fellowship with friends. Bring your favorite crafts, games, or whatever else you need to cope on election night. We are going to have fun and engage in some comic relief. Couldn't we use a little comic relief? So thank you for being here. And next, we'll have someone talk about the offering.
Good morning. I'm Stephen Medeiros. I'm with Share the Plate. We gather in person and on Zoom each week, giving our resources to sustain the work of this church and to share the abundance with community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number on the order of service or use your Realm app for the electronic giving. Or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the basket in a few minutes as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for the month of November is Veterans Rock. And please let's welcome Mr. Daryl Hagan from Veterans Rock to give you more information about it.
Thank you for the invitation and coming to speak with you today. Those of you who don't know about Veterans Rock, we were formed in 2020. Cindy Stockdale, she worked for the VA and she was retiring from there and saw there was still a need for what the veterans were missing out on. So she came up with Veterans Rock being the foundation to solidify the veterans' lives. We're located on South Greeley. If you drive by, you'll see the Red Cross ambulance in front of our building. And in that building, we house a pantry, laundry facilities and shower facilities for those that are homeless. They can come in and do laundry and get cleaned up. We have a computer lab. They can come in and do resumes, fill out paperwork for the VA, and just different things that they're looking for. We also have a clothes area where they can come in and get boots. Right now, we're giving out lots of winter jackets and winter boots so that if they are homeless, they can stay warm. We also have an area where we have tents and sleeping bags that we give out during the summer, where it's easier for them to live on the streets if that's where they happen to be. And then once they get back into the program of getting the assistance through the VOA to get into housing, we have a furniture bank that we give them furniture. The only thing is we can't give to them is bedding in beds. Otherwise, they can come in and get dining room tables, end tables, anything else they might need for an apartment. And so we're always taking donations for that stuff too. Everything's funded by the community. We're not a state or government-granted facility. We're all private donations. So every little bit that we can get in to help the veterans is needed and greatly appreciated. If you didn't see the news the other day, we just got a remodel through Habitat for Humanity and Home Depot. They came in and we did they covered a hole in our walls that was there from before, and we had a private donor donate cubicles to us, actual cubicles. So if you've been into our building before, it's changed. We'll be having a grand reopening in December 6th to show off our new facility, and we welcome everyone there. Also on the 12th, if you don't know much about Veterans Rock, we're having a community reconnaissance at Railspur to get to know who we are and what we are. Our board members will be there, and our staff will be there to answer any questions you have. And again, we really appreciate what you guys are doing for us this month, and anything that we can do for you, please feel free to reach out and ask us. Thank you.
Pledges and money, but before I do that, Veterans Day is coming up. I can't think of a better way to say thank you to veterans than to give generously to Veterans Rock as well. So as we've received, and I'm a member of the board, I should mention that. As we've received our pledge letters and consider our giving for the coming year, I've considered my own reasons for giving and providing support for UUCC. UUCC provides many formalized services and supports for our congregants. Obviously, we're given this space every week to come and mindfully consider our personal growth and learn about a variety of spiritual texts, sources, and traditions from which we can draw our own inspiration to grow in our spiritual selves. We're offered meaning not only from Reverend Elizabeth, but from our own congregants and guest speakers. We also are offered opportunities for connection and community. Thank you. Hello. Through things like coffee hour, our potlucks, volunteer opportunities, meditation, yoga, Halloween parties, and numerous other events to build connection in our own lives. I've also been thinking a lot about this week. As we move closer to Tuesday, many of us may be feeling anxious, myself included, about our collective and individual futures, and how the following years may create challenges which are insurmountable for us as individuals. UUCC is a space to share, process, and connect through these challenges, regardless of the outcome of this coming election. Personally, through UUCC, I've become more educated and aware of local elections and proximal issues which affect us directly in our own community. Feeling informed and connected alleviates, at least a little bit for me, some of the helplessness that feels inherent to a national election. UUCC, as mentioned, will hold a watch party this week. Maybe a watch support group might be another term. And what a beautiful opportunity to not feel so isolated on such a stressful and contentious time. But to keep this space for community, there's a real and concrete need for support, not only through the presence and effort of our staff, volunteers, and our congregants, but also through the financial resources that quite literally keep the lights on. Without that, we don't have the space, the resources, and the leadership to continue this shared space, this third space, which many people will need and seek in the coming months and years. Pledging and giving will support this resource for our community. Everything, financial or otherwise, counts, no matter how small. But we can't pay for boiler repairs with volunteer hours, unfortunately. So I want you all to consider giving generously with your pledge this year. The pledge helps for the church to be able to plan for things like infrastructure repairs in a way that makes sense for yourself and your family and your community and aligns with your values. And I'll do the same. Thank you.
Generosity of these offerings, may they be used for this community and the community beyond. Our call to worship is Transfiguring Love by Chip Rausch. Deeper than DNA, more fundamental than molecules or quarks, at our living core, we are wholeness and transfiguring love. We often forget that power becomes lonely or resentful, comparing ourselves to others, acting out our fears rather than living our glory. Occasionally, we rouse from our trance to remember our wholeness. For a time, we embody unsentimental love. We make efforts to wake others and to remain fully present ourselves. Our lives and our time here together are made sacred by our striving. For the next 60 minutes and for the rest of our lives, may we be more aware of the spirit of life evolving through and among us. So may we be in worship. Now for our opening hymn, I invite you to open your gray hymnals to hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. Everybody rise in body and spirit as you can. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart of the stirrings of compassion. Oh, in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come of justice, roofs hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
How was the song Spirit of Life written? In UU tellings of the story, it has been called a church social justice meeting, an anti-nuclear war demonstration, and a remembrance of Harvey Milk, the openly gay San Francisco city supervisor who was assassinated in 1978. All of these are versions that may work well to make a sermon point. But McDade said it was a meeting for Central American solidarity, probably at a college. What she remembers most clearly was the feeling she had. McDade said, "When I got to Pat's house, I told her, I feel like a piece of dried cardboard that has lain in the attic for years. Just open wide the door and I'll be dust." I was tired, not with my community, but with the world. She just sat with me, and I loved her for sitting with me. McDade then drove to her own home in Newtonville. I walked through my house in the dark, found my piano, and that was my prayer. May I not drop out. It was not written, but prayed. I knew more than anything that I wanted to continue in faith with the movement. Today, let us light our chalice, affirming this prayer. May we not drop out. May we continue in faith with the movement. Spirit of life, come to me, come to us.
I'll need a hand. Takes a community.
That's right.
Working together.
Is it going?
Oh, before we do that, we're missing something. How about the covenant? So do we have all our young and young at heart here? Of is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others.
Our message for all ages today is taken from the book, The Great Pie Rat Controversy by Naomi King. Once upon a time, there were two pirates, Calico Caesar and Barnacle Betty. Good to see you, old friend.
Who owns a rat? Us two? All right. Good to see you, old friend.
And with that, Barnacle Betty and Calico Caesar got to jawing and wheeling, and soon as you could say, Pickled Pete
Pickled Pete
poured out his boots of brine. 10 times fast, they were known throughout the whole port to be thick as thieves. But trouble struck, as trouble does sometimes. The thunder and lightning and capsizing winds of the hurricanes had nothing on how the air sizzled, and the features of these two pirates in North Havana turned ugly. All the other well-meaning pirates backed away until these two turned in slow circles in the center of a big circle where the other pirates were busy taking bets on the outcome of the fight. As the fight escalated,
Chocolate be the best and true flavor of pie on the pirate ship. No, no, Barnacle Betty, you're wrong. Strawberry is the best and true flavor of pie on the pirate ship.
the other pirates elbowed each other and bellowed out hoots and laughter, saying, "You tell 'em, Betty," or "You're both wrong. It's the pumpkin pie that's best," or "Gee, I could really use the pie right now." And the disagreement deepened.
You dare call yourself a pie rat. You know nothing about pie. The problem with strawberry and the reason it can never be the true flavor of a pie on a pie rat ship is the crust. It gets all soggy. And who ever heard of a pie rat pie that needed a bilge pump? You're mocking the name of pirate. You don't know the first thing about pie, let alone the kind of pie a true pie rat seeks. After weeks of salt and beef and salt cod and salt mystery meat, a true pie rat wants strawberry pie. And if that isn't possible, a true pie rat likes a bit of rhubarb strawberry pie with a good flaky crust. Show me proof of such pie. I can whip up a chocolate pie in a pan, off the main mast, and with your mama's approval. But I don't believe, have never seen, let alone smelled, tasted, or heard tale of such pastry which you speak.
The other pirates gasped or laughed. Now this fight was a matter not of taste, but of belief. And the accusation of a lie had whipped through the air. You could smell the tension in the air like you can smell the ozone in the air just before a lightning strike. Then a funny creature, clutching a copy of the dread pirate Robert's Rules of Orders to her breast, broke through the edge of the crowd.
Wait, we're all signers of the Universal Pirate Code.
Aye, aye, murmured the General Assembly round Calico Caesar and Barnacle Betty. Aye, aye, all of us pirate-easts.
What does the code say?
We turn to the portion of the code which deals with the riddles.
All the pirates all around got really quiet because if there's something pirates have respect for, it's the pirate code. After flipping through the entire book twice, she finally turned all the way back to page 1 of the code.
Principle 5 observes what we do things not this way, but with the democratic practice. And what wins shall be how all follow, no matter how any voted.
And a whole host of pie-loving pirates lined up to speechify about their favorite flavors of pie. Tears were shed as tales of tender crusts were told, and teeth gnashed about salt mistakenly substituted for sugar and broken custards and weevily pie. Finally, the time came for voting. After they'd all lined up, the preaching pirate counted out the tallies and stepped into the center.
You have all heard in favor of chocolate and in favor of strawberry already. Are there any other candidates to be named on the floor? We are indeed pirates, for we care very deeply about our pies. No offense intended to ham pies or sour tarts, of course. We are universal pirates, and the winner is, actually, all this practicing democracy has made me very hungry. Anyone else feeling a bit peckish?
The pirates all cheered aloud, for many had discovered the rumbly tummy, and they left the field of battle, clapping each other on the back, trading pie recipes. Barnacle Betty clapped Calico Caesar on the back, too.
Can we agree to disagree on the matter of pie, friend, and seek the happier subject of chowder? I, Barnacle Betty, we can disagree in love for chowder's sake. If I can have your little packet of crackers at lunch. Fair enough, friend.
And so they traded the secret chalice handshake of the Universal Pirates and went to lunch. And as we return to our seats after this tale of pirates, just remember what your favorite flavor of pie, that's your favorite flavor of pie, matters less than whether we make enough pie for everyone.
Now, if we'll center ourselves and take a deep breath and relax as we go into our pastoral prayer. And we now join me in the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life and of love, we gather to be with one another, hoping to support each other as a comfort in hard times, to celebrate our joyful and happy moments, to dwell together in the wonder and mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. Today, we want to keep in prayer those people who are in the war-torn areas of the Middle East and Ukraine also. Also, a prayer of thanksgiving for Mike's friend, my friend there, Chuck Killian, who is now home in Cheyenne going through therapy following his stroke that he is recovering from as well. Also, prayer of thanksgiving from Meg, also, that you auditioned and got a part in the Yuletide play at the Little Theater. Yay! Also, joy for the 10 people who attended the drum circle that was held recently, and making beautiful rhythm together. May we have more people joining that. That's such a good thing. We especially hold our country up in prayer this week as we approach Election Day on Tuesday. May the outcome from that be peaceful and be something that will be a positive thing as we move ahead in our future for our country. May we acknowledge the changing seasons of the beauty of autumn with its cooler temperatures and the beautiful colors on the trees as they lose their leaves. It's been a beautiful long fall this year. And the time of rest of the earth is approaching us as well. May we give thanks for the ever-changing earth and hold room in our hearts for all the joys as yet unshared and sorrows too tender to be spoken aloud. May we find in this space peace, comfort, and community that enfolds us. Amen, and blessed be.
Our reading for this morning is entitled, "What is Hope?" by Reuben Alves. What is hope? It is a presentiment that the imagination is more real and reality less real than it looks. It is a hunch that the overwhelming brutality of facts that oppress and repress is not the last word. It is a suspicion that reality is more complex than realism wants us to believe, and that the frontiers of the possible are not determined by the limits of the actual, and that in a miraculous and unexpected way, life is preparing the creative events which will open the way to freedom and resurrection. The two, suffering and hope, live from each other. Suffering without hope produces resentment and despair. Hope without suffering creates illusions, naivete, and drunkenness. Let us plant dates, even though those who plant them will never eat them. We must live by the love of what we will never see. This is the secret discipline. It is a refusal to let the creative act be dissolved in immediate sense experience, and a stubborn commitment to the future of our grandchildren. Such disciplined love is what has given prophets, revolutionaries, and saints the courage to die for the future they envisaged. They make their own bodies the seed of their highest hope. Choosing hope was a very timely topic for me to reflect on for today's service. I don't know about you all, but I've had a little anxiety working on me as I think about the possible outcomes of Tuesday's election. I am consciously choosing to remain hopeful and to think positively about how things will turn out. A big part of what helps me do that is connecting with other like-minded people, friends, family, and church family who share my values and my vision for the future. Also, I find that I feel more hopeful when I spend time outdoors, hiking in the mountains, walking around the neighborhood or the park, chasing grandkids around the yard. Being in nature reminds me that the world is bigger than this moment in time and place. It's also helpful for me to step back and look at the bigger picture of our country's history. As a nation, we've come through some major struggles and challenges, such as numerous wars, both among ourselves and with other countries, slavery, the Great Depression, pandemics, natural disasters, and financial disasters like the Great Depression. I choose to be hopeful about Tuesday's election, and I am thankful that no matter the outcome, I have this community as a refuge and a source of hope for our shared future.
As we live each day, especially true recently and coming up for this week for us here, we know chaos and disorganization occur out in the world. It becomes such a challenge for us to deal with each day. And how do I cope and exist with these unknown events and happenings? Everybody deals with stress and challenges in their own way. For me, I move into each new day with prayer and an open heart with the hope and expectation of better things to come. We can learn to have hope in our lives by learning from events of the past. Memories of good things in my past help to foster a positive outlook for the future. Also, I rely on support from my family, friends, and my community here when I run into those unexpected and often negative occurrences. Having gone through my previous health issues back in 2012, I learned many important life lessons about not taking the small things in life for granted, and instead of not giving up. I learned that through hope and prayer, that each day that followed became better and better. As we move through the upcoming week, we must rely and support each other through caring and through love. I know I will, for sure. Thinking of these words, we want to invite you now to take a moment, turn to a neighbor and ask this question: where are you finding hope in the possibilities for our shared future? And let's take about 4 minutes, approximately, to think a little bit and then share with each other. This was ours, that's correct. Now they're doing theirs.
Okay, I already did that. I'm just like, oh my God. Okay, so we're doing it. Okay. I wasn't sure it was. All right.
I just got to practice before we get See, I know what happened. I got down there. I got to get down there.
Boy.
Yeah, I need
You have to
hope.
hold it just right above it.
See, my hand sometimes, this morning, I got medicine deals with it. Not from doing this, but it's because
Of the medication. Yeah, medication.
never know.
Mesmerizing.
But you did something.
Yeah. Okay. So. All right. So we're going to do a reflection. Is the next thing just ending forth? Okay.
Because I say you've
We're
got,
going to do that.
now you've read, I have to read the new, you just looked up.
I was going to say, I don't think I've.
No, that's where we are next.
So they reflect because there's 2 times for reflection.
Yeah.
So when they, in a minute, when they get.
And yeah, and I'm marching the clock, I think you can do,
4 minutes.
I say 4 for this one, yeah, that's top.
And then I'll do this reading. Okay.
Because then if you read this, then you can just ask that question too.
Yeah.
Then we can send it forward.
I mean, go eat.
Yeah, that's right. Just like you said, I find solace in nature so much. I was looking at the squirrel this morning. I swear he knows me so well. He said about, no, never
He
have.
just comes to visit.
He scrounges around under the tree and he knows that. He's just sitting there and he's saying, you know, looking at you.
They're so cute. This is good news.
Oh, yeah, this is perfect.
So, yeah, I've got a little anxiety about Tuesday. Hopeful. Gotta be hopeful.
Well, you're planning to come up here too? Okay, somebody, bring you to church.
Maybe, I'm gonna
I
see
don't know,
if Steve's up for it. We'll see.
I'll reach out to Heather. I'll bring you up too, I suspect.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, if I'm coming, I'm glad to.
I'm gonna say how that's going.
I think it would be a good thing.
I had two gentlemen, young fellows dressed up in white shirts, you know what they were.
Oh, yes. Come to your door.
Oh, yeah, they came to my place.
But how'd you handle that?
I handled it very essentially. I told them the truth. I had found in church here, which I've been with, this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, they showed and talked a little bit about the Mormon church and all that, then Islamic war. But they didn't give me one of their Mormon, which I've never read it.
I've had friends in it. I know a little bit about it. Yeah. This is where I belong.
Yeah.
I'm going to share with you now a reading by Lisa Friedman. Spirit of life and love, we live in a fragmented world that tempts us to despair. We would put it back together piece by piece if it were ours to choose. But sometimes the fragments are enough. In a world of cruelty, there is still power in every act of kindness. In a time of doubt, there is still power in every act of hope. In an age of division, there is still power in every act of unity. May we remember that sometimes the fragments of meaning we make are just the right size to hold in our hand. In this fragmented world, how are you building bridges of understanding and engaging in acts of kindness? Again, please turn and talk with your neighbor for just a few minutes, now that you've scooted back.
Let's do 3 minutes this time.
Okay, and then you'll do that. So, do you have thoughts about building bridges of understanding?
To me, building bridges, like in this situation right now, it's kind of like, it's kind of like me saying about the Mormon folks I go by this thing.
And you share.
Yeah. Now, when you're talking to people, I don't usually talk politics on the street or anything with folks like that.
Right, yeah,
But the main thing, though, that I've always believed just like with LGBTQ people, it's not our job to judge.
Right.
I would share with them that would be the first thing I'd say is I respect your thoughts. This is how
This is what I think in life.
and share right. No antagonism, no verbal fighting. Say,
You know, I was thinking about this myself and I was realizing it's different now that I'm retired. I don't have work colleagues that I'm interacting with, but most of the people that I interact with the most are church either present ones or people that have moved away. I think about James and Kathy and Mike. We meet up some, we talk on the phone, that kind of thing.
well, see, on Facebook, I can tell you, my family, relatives, cousins, and all that stuff now.
That's true. Facebook is a different story.
And they're down in Alabama, and it's obvious from their postings, whose side, whose political side they're on. It's just the way it is, and that's all right. I still believe in our prayer, so I'm going to pray hard.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. There's a part of me, if you think about it too hard, I could just kind of and I will be glad that this community is what I'm trying to really think about. I'm trying to be hopeful. This is good. And can continue at coffee hour.
That's right. See? And now, please rise in body or in spirit and join us with us in our sung response. 131, Love Will Guide Us. It's in your gray hymnal, number 131. No. On the road from free to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. Love will guide us, peace will guide us, hope beside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot
chalice flame and speak together the word in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry
Within our hearts until we are together again. And now, in our going out into the world this week, may love bless and keep us. May the light of love shine upon us and out from within us and be gracious unto us and bring us peace. May we find support and caring among each other as we navigate the unknowns ahead and keep hope as a guiding light for everyone. Blessed be, and amen. And amen. Yeah. And don't forget to stay around for potluck. We have a great one coming.